Yes, fellow Blues, we are back to football activities. Chelsea played Wrexham for our first preseason game early hours of this morning. That game ended 2-2, Chelsea 2, Wrexham 2. It was a game filled with mixed reactions because we have new players on the pitch, new players in the team, a new coach. So many persons were looking towards the first game or our first preseason game, which it wasn't short for of what we expected. That is in terms of the tactics of the coach, and also being a preseason game, we expected the coach to make a lot of changes, which he did. But for me particularly, I'm super excited because we are closer to a new season. Like playing preseason games like this already tells that the season is coming closer. So anyhow our weekdays go, we go they look towards weekend, say yes, Premier League they come or league match they come, for we to keep ourselves entertained and just rewind. So, fellow Blues, before the game this morning, yesterday, Enzo Maresca had his first press conference as a Chelsea coach, which he said so many things, including talking about Enzo Fernandez, which that issue has been trashed. So, hopefully, upon the return of Enzo Fernandez from his break after Copa America, I hope he's able to integrate back to the team, and also the rest of Chelsea player, including the French player, are able to welcome the Argentine with an open hand. So for that aspect, it has been settled. So back to our preseason game earlier as of this morning, we saw a game. Enzo Maresca fielded a very strong Chelsea side with Robert Sanchez on the goal line. Starting with Robert Sanchez, for me, I'm still not convinced with Robert Sanchez. I cannot trust our season in the hands of Robert Sanchez. So hopefully, with the signing of Philip Jorgensen, the Danish goalkeeper, we could be getting a very strong rivalry or a strong competition for Sanchez. But not drifting too far, still on the preseason game yesterday, then we saw Tosin making his first unofficial debut for Chelsea since he moved from Fulham for a free transfer to Chelsea. Then we also have Ben Banashi, who was at the middle of the back three. Then we had Levi Kowi, who did not play for almost half of last season due to injury. So yesterday he made his first official appearance after his long time out. But during the first 3 minutes of the game, he almost had a fight, or he fought with the Wrexham player. For me, that was not a good one. What ought to be a preseason game, a friendly game, was taken so serious. Was taken so serious. So for that, we no go want that kind of thing come into our season whereby our players will be get irrelevant yellow cards. So Enzo Maresca currently need to work on that aspect in terms of discipline, because if na Premier League, I believe say such situation may result to a red card for both players, or both players getting booked, which is not a good one. If you don't book defender like that, fear will come in the defender when you will continue make the right tackle if you don't already get a yellow card. So that's one aspect that I believe Enzo Maresca currently need to work on this. Our team will not start our season like last season, where from the very first start of the game of the season, we began to accumulate yellow cards. Even player like Nicolas Jackson at a time gets yellow card more than his goal tally, and some other players. So yeah, for our midfield position, we had Romulavia, who was so solid yesterday. Yes, early this morning. For me, Romulavia was one of the best player in the pitch after Christopher Nkunku. I said class is permanent, form is temporary. Romulavia proved that he's that player that can truly count on anytime, any day. Then we also had players like Nkunku on the pitch yesterday. We had Rhys James, who played the inverted right back role. For me, I don't see Rhys James to be a perfect player for that. I'll prefer him to be fielded as the natural right back, doing his own overlap and giving assist to our strikers. Then maybe players like Marco Kurela, Manon Gusto is more suited to that inverted right back tactics. Though Rhys James can as well play that, but it will limit his potential. And where you expect him to put his strength, where it will matter most, he won't be able to put his ability there, or he won't be able to put his whole strength there, because probably this inverted right back role does not suit him. But however it may be, this is still the first game with this tactics under Enzo Maresca. So hopefully let's see how far the players progresses, tend to adapt to this new formation. Then we also have players like Nkunku, who was almost quiet during the entire half of the, sorry, who was almost quiet during the game. Then we had Noni Madueke. For me, that complaint still did for Noni Madueke in terms of that inability or not wanting to release the ball on time. He's a good player. He knows how to dribble, but not every time you tend to take on player. Know when to release the ball. Know when to release the ball. You cannot do it all alone. That is one aspect which the coach really needs to work on Noni Madueke, and Noni Madueke on his own self need to work on that aspect if we'll be having a future with Chelsea and getting to the top of football or getting to the top of his game. Because when Angelo Gabriel came in during the second half, we saw a very composed right, left winger who knows how to pass, when to dribble, when to attack, when to bring a low cross or bring a pullback. Like we saw a very composed player in Angelo Gabriel. So I hope if Angelo Gabriel will be staying with Chelsea, he's going to be a handful player for we to count on. Then we also have one other new face on the team from the academy, Tariq George. That guy was fantastic, Tariq George. Like for me, with Tariq George, Ryan Sterling and Mudryk, who don't they agitate to return back to this team. Like they know say yes, their position is no longer safe. Though Tariq George is still a very young player and really needs to improve. But from what we saw yesterday, that guy could become our Nico Williams. Like he knows how to, in terms of one versus one, he knows how to take on player and he's not scared. Like he has this confidence. So hopefully we get to see more of Tariq George and see if he will be staying with Chelsea, or probably Chelsea may just be sending him out on loan. You know, say this Chelsea management, we cannot really say, we cannot really predict. They do anything they feel like. They just do anything they feel like. So let's see if Tariq George will be able to stay with our team coming season. Then it could just be a handful player for us, and maybe no need for us to sign a left right winger. So moving on to striking position, we also had McGill and the likes of Christopher Nkunku in that fourth position. Christopher Nkunku was superb all throughout the game. Like that saying, let me repeat it again. Form is temporal, class is permanent. Despite his injury, almost the whole of last season, coming back again to preseason, he banked a goal, gave us our first goal under Enzo Maresca, though unofficial, but so far so good. That is the first goal under Enzo Maresca. It was a well-taken goal, an assist from McGill. So hopefully, I hope Christopher Nkunku is able to stay fit, and then we could see a Christopher Nkunku and Kopama cooking Premier League defenders, scoring goals, giving assists. Then for McGill, he had a decent performance, a player that really needs to improve, but so far so good in terms of his physique, his imposition or putting himself to the game, trying to chase the ball. He's very good at that. So hopefully, let's see if McGill can just be that striker from nowhere who will turn out to be our hero. Then we may just start singing the name McGill. But I don't want Chelsea fans to hype this player so much. Remember, we bought him for €6 million. So let's see if McGill will turn out to be a bargain. But for me, if I'm to judge by just one game, I believe we still need a striker. We still need a top striker. If we are going into a new season with McGill and Nicholas Jackson, it may be a little bit risky. But so far, so good. McGill can be that second fiddle striker or a striker to also rely on. For me, it's better than Armando Broja. Like, if I'm to judge from just today's game, it's better than Armando Broja. So hopefully, we'll get to see the better side of this Enzo Maresca's team as they progresses. Our next game will be coming up in a couple of days' time. Hopefully, let's see if Chelsea will be able to get their first win. So, fellow Blues, moving on to transfer-related matter, according to report, Chelsea are set to wrap up a deal for Villarreal goalkeeper, a Danish goalkeeper, 22 years old, very young. According to his statistics, he's very good with the foot. He knows how to distribute the ball, and he's also a good goalkeeper, very young. So he's going to be a goalkeeper for the present and for the future. So hopefully, if Chelsea can wrap up the deal for 20 million euro, it will be a goalkeeper to give competition to Robert Sanchez, and then Chelsea could just be sending out Petrovic for a loan or cashing out on Petrovic. Fellow Blues and lovers of Chelsea, here's the latest. I met Alex here. Thank you for always joining me